dude, it's been crazy. Okay, guys, this is not Twitch, but here is the one and only Terry. I know my phone is cracked. There's a lot of stuff going on. We've been waiting for you. We've been working really hard, haven't you?
Yeah.
Damn, dude. Alrighty, well, let's go in here. So, it's Andrew and Rob. So, Rob, here he is. That's Andrew, and then Rob.
Hey, how you doing today? Thanks for coming. Hey, Rob. Yeah. Glad you guys made it safely and
Yeah.
for a while though. A couple hours, but it was like Centennial Park was super fun, like the parking lot area.
Did you have a chance to go in?
Just like case out machines.
No problem. Oh my gosh.
That was our one about us too.
Yeah, we haven't seen him on
Yeah.
This photographer is coming out. I love it. You might as well, yeah, I guess. Oh my gosh, snazzy guys. Look at that. Alrighty. I'll come closer.
the other side's like quiet.
Yeah, we can do that. No problem.
You see you're streaming now?
I'm not streaming, I'm just recording it, yeah, and then I'll upload it to. That's mine. Yeah. It's like who spelled out is this? He has it, yeah. I don't have it. I have a photo. I'm just like recording it. Yeah. Location. You can sit down, Terry. Alright. Damn. My phone died, so that's why I'm like struggling.
I can hear my computer. It's already doing shit like this, you know?
Yeah, I think the connection here is not the best. Are you trying to go on the internet?
The screen is not like.
Oh.
I'm looking at the end of the year. I'm going to upgrade my computer.
Down.
What year is that?
15 right this way.
I got a 14 here.
6 years old.
Okay, this is good lighting.
It's like the new ones.
Yeah.
Processing power, I wish next door, they're like, yeah, it's like night and day. But anyway, if it fees, it's going to help that more processing power.
Yeah.
What's your daytime job? Like you said, it was office work.
Yeah, I'm a data engineer. So
Ooh, okay.
busy bee day.
Hey, it's totally fine. This stuff is like this is like last minute stuff. Like Arun just like I love his idea of putting everything on Twitch and streaming and meeting all you guys. We're gonna meet you guys anyways.
We're trying to do this all alone as possible.
Yeah, man, we're doing like we're getting some stuff done. We're making some progress. There was like about 15 people on the Twitch stream at one point. It's like, oh my god, because everybody's sharing it and hosting it. So that's good. But yeah, like next time when we go to Houston, we'll be more prepared, and it's just a learning curve, you know.
Yeah, it'll end up growing more and more as the idea continues to spread, and obviously a lot of people are kind of like myself, you know, working at this time of the day, but I think the stream or the views will pick up later on in the evening.
Yeah, definitely. Like it's just like that first step. Like, oh, there's the people that are out there doing it. They actually are meeting other people and gang supporters.
Right.
On our way, okay. On our way here, we saw a house that had a gang sign in its window. We were literally about to stop and like knock on their door. We're like, wait, we have to go to Terry first. And then after,
Is that your house or no?
No.
oh my god.
Yeah, that's my house.
We're like, okay. We were about to roll up there. We were like, okay, wait a minute. Like, let's pause for a moment. It was just so crazy, but
That's exciting. That means he's growing down here.
yeah, we were shocked at how many like political science campaign names we're seeing around here.
Special election going on?
Yeah, we're having a city election here soon.
That makes sense. There's like so many signs out that I'm like, something's going on because everyone's like really active, really. This is
Right.
a year and a half before mayor.
No, yeah, no.
It's coming up soon.
Well, yeah, and we had it was before I moved up here, but like something happened with the last mayor, something that he had to like leave office, and this guy's now.
Wait, was
Damn,
this recent?
scandal.
Yeah, I don't even know. Like I haven't even.
I think this is the city where he got caught like sending some emails and then tried to doctor some emails. It might have been it. I don't know.
Yeah.
There's one
corruption like every city.
So this kid, I don't know if it's a city or not, but he like threw a drink at the mayor.
Yeah.
Or tried to, and then he was like ordered to cease and desist.
Yeah.
So he did, and then the mayor got an email from him, took an email that was older, changed the date on it, and made it seem like after he sent it after the cease and desist.
Wow.
So they arrested the guy, and he was like, I didn't send that email. Turns out he didn't send the email. And he ended up having to resign. His office secretary forged it. They showed that he was aware of it. And again, I don't know if this is here, but that was recent, like the past couple of months.
That's rough.
Did not hear.
Yeah, I think you might have heard about that. That was the case.
Yeah, I don't know, but so we're having an early election kind of.
Yeah. Like special election.
Special counsel Robert.
So she voted for Trump. I didn't vote for anybody. I think, who did you vote for in 2016?
Gary.
Gary.
Wait, what?
The party libertarian guy.
Oh,
Only because I wasn't
of course
gonna
you
vote
did.
I wasn't gonna vote for either one.
And yourself?
I understand.
I voted for Trump.
Yeah. Oh my God, that's very interesting.
I'm so happy. I mean, like, it sounds terrible, but
Yeah. In hindsight,
what I mean by that is
the
this.
best decision.
I have
what
no
I mean by this,
regrets.
and I'm trying to get this through the Democratic people that I've been associated with, is like, just because someone voted for Trump doesn't mean they're sexist, racist, or dumb. They just wanted something different. They wanted some agent of change.
That
A lot
was
of people
my
that voted for
angle,
Obama voted for Trump is because they wanted something. They wanted some change. That's
If
what
I
they
had a gun
voted for.
pointed at me, so I had to pick either one of them, I would probably pick Trump too. I was a Bernie supporter, and I really hated how they screwed my position.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to reward that kind of behavior.
Yeah, that's what.
I'm not going to reward that. My buddy's like, oh, you said that.
You
Like,
said that.
it's part of the problem. It's just, it was part of the problem. Like, I'm not going to reward that behavior.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean.
That's, you cheated, you got caught. You got caught, so no.
I agree. Yeah, I voted for Bernie in the primaries too, and I was like, well, what
Yeah,
is
a lot
this?
of Bernie people
What's
voted
this
for
like?
Trump. Rightly so.
I mean, I like Bernie. Like, he announced first, I believe, and so I was like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, that guy's pretty cool. And then Trump announced, and I was like, I kind of agree with some of that. And then it just was kind of like.
To make America great again?
Well, I mean, if we're doing like a interview, I'll probably say it in that too. But so I mean, it's not like a broken record.
No, that sounds good. We can talk about this. How
I mean,
Yeah.
you are like an
I
African
mean,
American, and let's definitely talk about this. Is a good talking point.
Yeah, I mean, like it's kind of one of those things. Was like he was mentioning,
Let's put on your.
Oh, they have a whole thing. Look at you.
This is pretty good audio. We got this on Amazon.
Yeah. Well,
but,
if one
I mean, talking about the manufacturing workers losing their jobs and a lot of the work being moved away from this country or just going somewhere. And that's something I kind of had like a sense of, and that's just something I kind of found important. And it wasn't until once I started looking into Yang and I read his book War on Young People, and all of that was just like, wait, that's what I meant.
It
Like,
clicked.
I couldn't really just I didn't have a way to vocalize like why. A lot of people ask like why, and it's just like.
Once you, I don't know if you've watched The Great Hack yet, the new movie that just came out on Netflix. So once you watch The Great Hack, which is Cambridge Analytica's part that they played in Trump winning, you get the whole picture. So yes, these people were losing their jobs to automation, didn't know what to do, and then through targeted Facebook ads, Cambridge Analytica having their data and knowing that these are persuadable people, that was how that finished the story. To make sure these people were going to go for Trump. There's a reason why he lost the popular vote. They didn't give a fuck about the popular vote.
Yeah.
They just wanted to win the swing states.
Yeah. And I mean, that's how you win.
That's the strategy.
Unfortunately,
They
that's
know.
how it is.
Exactly.
do a test real quick. Just to say, like, a quick little test to see how this works. So that is my first time. I haven't used this thing in a while.
Okay.
All right, no problem.
We'll just do a test. 1, 2, 3. Microphone. 1, 2, 3.
Very interesting. I did not expect you to say Trump. I thought you were going to say, like, nobody actually.
Really?
Yeah, I was like, no, but he voted for Trump too. Like, you did. That's so interesting.
I'm from like Alabama, and so all the people I associated with,
They warmed up to it. Yeah,
kind of that element as well.
yeah. I mean, even though I'm from the north and we do have the more like liberal like stance, I was like, forget. I'm tired of it. Like, I'm over
You
it.
want to sit next to him, or you want to sit next to me. That way, if you guys want to pipe in, it'll get picked up.
Okay.
And same thing, we talk about what you just said was, Trump, automation and all that kind of stuff. And we say Yank's books, we're going to create some talking points.
It's okay if you repeat yourself. It's no big deal.
Yeah, you're gonna edit all this stuff down to something too. So.
Well, yeah, the podcast will be more like free flow. I won't do a lot of jump cutting here, but it'll be more. If there's a mistake, I'll obviously jump cut it, but like it won't be like a condensed 1 minute. This is going to be like a more of a 5 to 10 minute type of thing.
Do you work in computer engineering, AI engineering, or something like that?
I mean, I'm in the technology field, mostly working with like databases and.
Hold on 1 second. Let me. Alright, we're gonna probably repeat all this.
Oh yeah. Okay. Sorry.
Yeah.
He's like, wait, don't give us the goods yet.
You can go. If you want the goods. You can go ahead, but we're gonna like.
I haven't been talking to a lot of people at I was in the Miami debates, and we were just talking to a bunch of us people, and the people that are most like attracted to his campaign are literally have either literally automated their jobs away or are in the process of automating their jobs. So so the one lady worked for in Detroit for vehicles, I think for Ford or GM. She's like, yeah, I knew what I was doing. I was creating programs that could do my job, and eventually I knew my job would be gone. And another kid he's a computer software engineer, data AI engineer. He's going to school, and his professor is working on AI learning how to read. So to actually read and comprehend and solve problems just by what it's reading. So you can literally read anything and start coming up with solutions until it figures out how.
So was he part of that?
Massive.
Was he part of that MIT thing, or was that MIT? The article, I read an article about how a machine learning thing started read scientific papers and then became.
Yes.
He's part of that.
He's not part of that,
okay.
But that's it's very similar to that, where it's it's trying to find a way to get it to pick up on words and actually understand language more than just body understandings of it and data points. So it wants it to understand and comprehend what it's reading. And once it does, you can give it any problem. Say solve climate change, and then it can just start going through. Here's some different truths, and then the neural network just decide And what you saw was that article was it solved it. It would have solved that problem 2 years earlier. And was it 4?
Yeah, it was. It was actually 3 years earlier.
Yeah. So that's what we're talking about. And that could literally change our climate change solution. So it's amazing what it's capable of, but that's in a benevolent application, in a very dangerous application with someone that wants to rule the world or control economies or ruin us or ruin other countries. We're not. We don't lack culpability there too. We're assholes too to other countries.
Right.
So in the wrong hands of someone like Trump or Kim Jong-un, it could be a disaster.
Yeah.
So.
Okay, I'll go ahead and start this. That way we can we're gonna go off on tangents. Like I said, if you want to sort of prompt anything, go ahead. I'm just gonna start off and introduce everybody. What's your last name?
Lewis, Lewis.
All right, this is Rob here. I'm on a road trip to Detroit for the second debates for the Yang Gang campaign, and joining me is Andrew Hector, Alyssa Mason, and we are interviewing Terry Lewis, who is currently a Nashville resident. We are right here in Nashville. So, Terry, if you want to give a little bit about yourself, your background, where you're from, why you came here, what you do, we'll start the interview off with that.
Yeah. Well, First, it's great, to meet you guys here, and I'm glad I could join you guys for a part of your road trip. So, my background is I'm from Birmingham, Alabama. I moved up here about a year ago, and my political leanings are more conservative. And so, during the 2015 election or the 2016 election in 2015, I saw Bernie announce, and I kind of liked the problems that he was focused on. And then Trump announced, and I found myself agreeing a lot more with some of the issues that he pointed out that were tied to job loss, people running out of work and not being able to find work. And I just didn't really think that a lot of the other candidates were focused on that. And so I decided to support him throughout that election. And around February of this year, I started seeing some news articles about an Asian man who wants to give everyone $1,000 a month. And the first time I saw it, I dismissed it. I was like, okay, well, that's crazy. That can't be real. And then the article came again, a similar article. And then the third time that I saw it, I was like, okay, let me just click on it and read up. And I was fascinated by what I read. And just having that epiphany that, okay, it's not mostly jobs going overseas to cheaper markets. It's not mostly immigrants coming in and working. It's due to automation and advancements in AI and machine learning, which is something that I'm kind of attuned to, being in the computer engineering field. I'm a data engineer, and so seeing all of that just kind of resonated. And so luckily for me, the next day Andrew Yang was going on Joe Rogan. And so I had a nice, pleasant 2-hour introduction to everything that he was saying, and it was honestly incredible. It had an amazing impact on how I viewed the problems in our society and how everything just kind of related to the fact that people are hurting and people are concerned about their future, and that there are actually real solutions that can affect everyone in a positive way and move the country along to prepare for a future where the definition of work itself, in and of itself, is in question.
Yeah, no, after I first found out about it, when I took a deeper dive, I'm one of the millions of frustrated Americans that, why isn't this economy working for me and everyone else? I'm definitely a gig economy kind of person, and something like the freedom dividend would really help me out in between jobs and supplementing the work and income that I get. And I'm sure, Alyssa and Andrew too, we're just very frustrated with the way things are, because I used to be frustrated with this country and have done a lot of traveling before, but when I've gotten back here, I realized, America deserves better than this. It's our two-party system, and the system itself is, what is sort of weighing us down and not solving the problems of today and tomorrow. But we as the American people, we're very resilient, we're very innovative, and we're very cooperative. We just have to sort of get over the hurdles that are so very present today.
One thing you mentioned before we hopped on was that you read his book. So I'm curious how important you think that is to someone who supports Andrew Yang to read his book, The One Rule.
It is paramount. It is honestly the best diagnosis of the issues in our country and our society as a whole and what we will face in the future. And honestly, it is a analytical, fact-driven piece of literature, but it's something that every Yang supporter should attempt to read or listen on audiobook. Also, support your local library. I got mine from my library.
Oh my God, really?
I think everyone in the country honestly should read it. I know that's completely impossible, but it's something that everyone who wants to know what's going on in this society, they'll learn it from that book.
I think for me, when I read his book and I see the attacks on him now about maybe not having a genuine approach with his UBI or being some kind of libertarian that's trying to think as a Democrat, like when you read his book, you see his compassion to his problem solving that kind of changes how you see him overall now. Like I couldn't see a bad motive in him, even if I tried, and no one's going to convince me differently because.
A number of older, elderly people around who are, they own home, they own property. Well, it would be like, that's what I mentioned like earlier. The definition of work is like in question in the future. Like, ask yourself, like, is it work to drive around your community all day and help old people with the tasks they need around the house? Is that a job? Is that work?
Yeah, I mean, and, this whole the difference between job and work, that provides value to the community and our economy. It's just our economy doesn't necessarily reward that in a way that should be rewarded. And I think all too often people like, janitors, service industry people, and people that just, are the backbone, the backstage people keeping our businesses running, are often underpaid because our economy doesn't value their work the way it should be. So I, for one, definitely, when I was at the University of Georgia, saw how the janitors were a vital part in keeping everything clean and functional, and without them, it would have definitely impacted my experience there.
Yep, definitely. The way the economy works now, certain work is seen as valuable and certain work is not even measured or even recognized. And it's the little things, honestly, that can make the difference in someone's life that, well, if they had their own, $1,000, they could compensate someone for.
What's another policy that Yang has proposed that also caught your attention?
The decriminalization of opioids.
Oh my God.
That's a huge one. I think it demonstrates two things. The first one, probably more important than actually solving the drug addiction problem, is just that a leader should be able to look at facts and change their opinion if it's something good. And something that he's mentioned on a couple of interviews as one of the biggest things he's changed his mind about is this issue. He used to view it in a more penal way and how to address it. And after presented with some facts and he read into it, it actually turns out that a leader can change their mind and support this solution. And then the second part is that it really could help out a lot of people to be able to seek treatment, to honestly add another industry to the economy that if you regulate it, you might actually stop people from becoming so addicted, because the problem is that the drugs are pumped up so much because it's so hard to get it or manufacture it from outside the country and bring it in. But in a regulated economy, kind of like alcohol, Everclear, I suppose, is like 90% alcohol, but that's pretty much the only one. Everything else is measured accordingly to a reasonable level.
Yeah, I found that, like you said, that was like we're all looking for progressive candidates, and like there's nothing more progressive than provided new evidence and changing your opinion about something because you know that there's a better solution. That's progress. That's the definition of being a progressive for me. It's like seeing solutions that work, even if it's not something that you thought at first, or you're just looking to solve it because that's the best idea. So I think that drew me into that policy as well.
And it goes back to that false dichotomy of either be like a liberal or conservative, or maybe somewhere in the middle. When really, like you said, it's just we learn something new about the world every day, and looking and just basically trying to change their solutions for tomorrow's problems is a way to go. It's not left, not right, but forward. That has been the thing that has stood up to me most with this campaign. That has sort of been this unifying factor that Trump voters, Bernie voters, and everyone else in between can get behind.
This campaign has been a lot of firsts for me. Any first for you? Like, this is the first time I donated to a presidential campaign. How about for you?
Well, this is the first that I've really been this involved with. In the 2016 election, I kind of discussed ideas with people online or in person, but not necessarily fully aligning myself with the campaign, with a support with the support team around it to make it happen. I mean, right? But I don't really have that many campaigns under my belt. This is only my second one. So yeah.
Oh, how old are you?
23.
23? Okay, I'm 20. Interesting. So you couldn't, I don't really care about Obama, but were you able to vote for Obama, or were you just like missed it?
Was not able to.
Interesting. Okay. Wow, so you were Trump first. Okay, interesting. Me too, guys. Okay. Oh my God. Okay, that's it.
So, I can cut this next part out if you don't want to answer it or if it doesn't work. But yeah, when I was at the Atlanta debate, Yang had asked everybody, who was an ex-Trump voter or a Bernie supporter, a libertarian, a non-voter, a liberal, and you had people cheer for all of that. And it's been really cool to see everyone come together from different backgrounds. And I'm from the South, and as are you. And there's this sort of like ideology that, if you're white and you voted for Trump, you're probably a racist. But, you as being a person of color voted for Trump. Do you have any thoughts on that? And like to say anything to anybody that sort of has that mentality?
I mean, it all goes back to the solutions, to the problems that the country's facing. In 2016, not everyone was, their biggest issue wasn't climate change. Their biggest issue may not have been income inequality. Their biggest issue might not have been immigrants. There's probably just a lot of people who just had a sense that something was amiss, something was wrong in the country, and it wasn't being talked about except by one candidate. As a person of color, I mean, my opinions were more so focused toward the problems that the country was facing, and those were something that I thought were a little bit more important than other issues.
I really like that analysis, but yeah, go ahead.
So like I said, it was kind of hard to get a sense, get a pulse on what that actually was, what was wrong.
Yeah.
And when there's only one person saying, hey, this is wrong, here's a solution, you're kind of like, okay, well, that's a solution. And I actually did tell a lot of people during the time, the wall idea for immigration, I literally told people, it's a idea, and it's an idea that's so radical that it might force someone to come up with a better one. And so there's an element of that too, of just kind of trying to move the conversation forward with such I guess you can call it an extreme. And I don't think that's the way we should go anymore, because if you think about it, let's say one of the more fully extreme left-wing people get in for the next election. Well, it'll just be the exact same thing that we have now, just the other side will be happy and the other side will be distraught, and they'll just still be bickering at each other, and all the problems that the country's facing, including the impending automation wave, which will have catastrophic effects on the economy and on society as a whole, if not addressed with real solutions. That'll still happen, and everyone will just be bickering at each other.
Yeah, no, that's great. And I feel like a lot of people, when Donald Trump talked about immigration, is the reason why we've lost our jobs. It's more about automation, because people in Iowa, Michigan, Wisconsin, Pennsylvania, there's been millions of job loss due to automation, and you probably misdiagnosed the problem that it was due to immigrants, not automation. That's why I think we do see a lot of previous Trump supporters, or still are Trump supporters, that do like Yang. And it's kind of really refreshing to see someone like Yang get into the political arena and basically have a better analysis of the problem. That way we can sort of work for a solution that I think better tackles the issue.
It sounds like you paid attention a lot in 2016. I'm just curious to know if you felt like Trump was going to win. Before the election, a lot of my friends didn't think he was going to win. Most of my friends, I'm in West Palm Beach, Florida, kind of like a very progressive or democratic area. I'm wondering if you thought he's got a chance or he's going to win, and also along with that, what's the path? Do you see that Yang is on the same path of winning as he is?
Yep. So that's one of the more intriguing parts about being a supporter of this campaign, is that it kind of feels like deja vu. It kind of feels
Damn.
like we've been here before. And I know a lot of people who may have been part of larger campaigns in the last election, starting out. This is new territory for them. You know, we had some really good news over the last couple of days of Yang needing, evidently, according to his Twitter, one more qualifying hole to make it to the next debates. And you know, a lot of people, it makes them uneasy. They're like, "Oh my God, is he gonna make it? Like these numbers are so low." And I keep, telling other Yang people, I'm just like, "Well, I've been on this radio before. It's it's definitely possible to start low and rise high." And during 2016, I definitely felt that Trump was going to win in the summer of 2015.
I didn't even think so.
That's like shocking.
I didn't even
I think
think
a lot
so,
of
dude.
people hearing that would be shocked because they thought like we started to get into these bubbles where we think everyone thinks like us, and so everyone thinks he's a long shot, doesn't have a chance. But you were confident in the summer that because of his ideas, because of what he was speaking to you and to others, that he could win. That's amazing.
Yeah, and I mean, so the position that you don't want to be in is where some campaigns right now, they've reached a plateau. That's where you don't want to be this early on. Not naming any names, but and then there's some campaigns that are actually in decline. They're moving to the right and to the right and down, or down and to the right rather. That's where you don't want to be. Everyone, if you're a Yang, you're kind of worried right now. This is exactly where you want to be. You want to be trending upwards and to the right, because every single week we're gaining. That means that there's potential, and you don't know where it's going to end, but you can see where everyone else is ending.
That's great.
Wow.
I'm convinced.
I mean,
I was one of those people that like I'm watching the polls every day, so I'm like, I'm nervous, man. I was nervous. I still, want to keep doing the effort. I think the phone banking is helping. Talking to people every day about it, keeping aware. Like news is helping too. Like there's more stories about automation, but I like your confidence.
Yep, and I definitely feel that Yang's got that same momentum. So, I'm calling it now.
Yang mental.
We got President
Yang
Yang.
mental.
We got President Yang in 2021.
And yeah, I mean, we were driving here today from Atlanta. I think a poll came out this morning and had Yang at 1%. We were just, we were very anxious about it because he was only at 1 of the 4. But I think right before we got to this coffee shop, they released a poll that qualified, and Yang had 3%. So we're 2 out of the 4 done.
Fox News poll.
Fox News poll, yeah.
Which is even more intriguing than an MSNBC poll, right? It's like
for real.
It's hilarious.
A conservative slant is interested.
Mm-hmm.
That's good news for people who are looking for. I always tell other people in discussions of it's like a bell curve right now. As far American society and politics is a bell curve. You have the far corner and you have the other far corner. And for anyone who's unfamiliar with what a bell curve is, it's a statistical model that basically shows the average, where basically 80% of whatever sample you're talking about falls within the middle. And that's basically what American politics and the American voter is. Most people are here in the middle. They want things. They want problems solved. They don't care about the ideology. They don't care about all of that. They want problems solved. And if you can bring in people from both sides, like Andrew Yang can, in a unifying message, that's what the country needs, because that's what people want.
Yeah, he's a great person to unify under. I think some of our best presidents were able to unite a divided country and then put America on the world stage. George Washington, Abraham Lincoln, FDR, and hopefully Andrew Yang next year.
Wow. So closing thoughts. How about we start with you, Andrew?
I think if anything, the one challenge I see is he's gaining Trump supporters. He's gaining independents, libertarians. How do we gain your strategy, what do you think about gaining Democrats who it seems like a very logical jump, like they want Trump out, and Yang is gaining Trump supporters and would absolutely gain all the Democrat support if he was the general, the candidate, the nominee. How do we convince them that this is an easy win?
Well, there's a lot of loyalty in the party, in the Democratic Party right now. There's a certain guard that's loyal to Joe Biden. There's a certain guard that's loyal to Bernie and to Elizabeth Warren. And Kamala Harris, she's built herself a nice base as well. The problem of making people see that Yang is the way forward, that they should put their trust in him, it's a difficult one to solve, basically just due to the fact that these people they're gonna support their person that they have a huge track record. They've seen them for years. They've seen their policies, their voting record. But I think the best way to do it is just through conversation, just like it's working on the conservative and libertarian camps. The Democratic camp, you just basically gotta have conversations with them. And this is also on the national stage. Andrew speaking to these other candidates. For instance, don't quote me, but fact check it if you like, but I'm pretty sure I saw something where someone said that Joe Biden kind of talked to Andrew after the first debate and was kind of asking him, can you fill me in on the fourth industrial revolution?
Those are Andrew's words.
So, okay.
Exactly. He wouldn't lie to us.
Well, so, that right there just kind of lets me know that even Andrew up there on the debate stage, earlier we were talking about some of the discussions, some of the topics we'd like to see debated on the stage, and because we think that he has the better idea that can hold up in a debate. It'll just take discussion like that, just showing that these solutions are sound, that they are the best solutions, and with genuine conversation and genuine interest from the other candidates, they can basically elevate his policies so that their loyal supporters can maybe say, he actually knows what he's talking about.
Wow.
I'll hit my quick. If there's one thing you want to say to the gang as a whole, what would it be?
It's gonna be a fun ride, guys. Honestly, I mean, we keep doing what we're doing. It's working. It's gonna be a long, fun ride, but it's gonna get nasty at a certain point. We're not gonna get nasty. The Yang Gang, we're all awesome. We all have humanity first values, right, guys? So when we do run into that potential block in polling and support, when you're gonna start reaching that sort of nasty base of people that do not want to engage in the facts. Hold firm, stick to our values, and continue to just espouse humanity first. Because when we get to that point, that's really what's going to show if we have a ceiling or if this thing can really break open into what you may call a landslide election victory.
Dang. Well, my last question, I guess, would be, what would you say to Andrew Yang right now before the July debates to kind of cheer him on?
We're with you, Andrew. We're with you. All sorts of people from all walks of life are with you. Keep doing what you're doing, and good luck out there.
Thank you, Terry.
Thank you so much, Terry, for taking the time to meet up with us. We have done this interview right here in Portland Brew Coffee Shop in South Nashville. And I just want to thank all of the listeners for tuning in and being to this point. And, check back in for the next interview, and it'll be worth your time. And if you've really enjoyed this, like and share with someone else in your Yang Gang, and also with maybe a friend who's never even heard of Yang before, or someone that needs that little extra push to, convert them to a Yang Gang member to continue the cause. Thank you.
Dude, that's gonna be tough to beat.
Damn.
It's gonna be tough to beat. You're well spoken, man.
You're very
You have a way of, like,
intelligent.
yeah, you have a way of your pace. Did you do public speaking or anything in like church speaking, some kind of speaking?
No.
Really?
Oh my god. We're still real. This is like the after show.
People that
Damn.
built for that ability to just calmly express yourself in a very, just a very convincing manner. Dude, that was awesome. That was
Thanks,
good.
man.
And you don't know what questions we're gonna ask.
Yeah, it was totally off the cuff. I swear to God, it was off the cuff.
That was really good. Like that like if we don't even get one other interview after this trip, like that makes
I
my trip for
mean,
me.
we got it.
Yeah, for real. That was
I'll make sure to post
Glad we
it.
could have that talk, man. It's super cool hearing where everyone's coming from.
Yeah. And you were busy today too. We were getting anxious. We were like, oh my God, where is he getting?
It's already 6:15, bro.
Yeah, he's gonna be on the show. Like, we have to start like hashtagging Andrew on
Tell her you were
the.
doing some volunteering.
On the well, yeah, too, yeah.
Yeah, it's actually one of my coworkers' husband. He upcoming software developers are going to be super awesome at it. This is his big break. He's on doing a little talk. So I'm going to go sit in the audience and cheer him on.
Dude, thanks so much for being out. Really
Yeah,
appreciate
so
it.
I hate to rush out too
No,
quick,
Thank
but
you. No, it's totally fine.
get over there and
Lovely.
Thank you so much.
thanks, man. Thank you guys.
Oh, no problem, Terry.
We
Really.
post this, so you can come back and check it out.
Yeah, you're already in the Twitch chat. I'll just chat you up. Make sure Arun's in the know and everything.
Sweet. Hey, you guys have a great rest of your trip.
Thanks, you too. Thank you so much.
So did you get a hold of your uncle?
Yeah, he's gonna come.
He's gonna pick it from here.
Yeah. Dude, when Casey called, cut it in half.
What did he cut it?
We only had 10 minutes.